And to help give us a little more perspective, Joel Patterson is joining us. He heads up the Beste group. We're going to talk about workplace culture. Joel, good to have you with us this morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, Dave. How about yourself?
I'm excellent. The Beste group. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, we are a technology consulting firm that focuses on a cloud business management system called NetSuite. But we also spend a lot of our time really focused on our culture, and we pride ourselves on having the best one around.
We think we do a pretty good job here, too, but what usually makes a company good at having a good culture?
You know, I mean, I usually try to boil it down to kind of four simple things. The main ones are communication is obviously important, but it's in both directions, right? A lot of people talk about communicating out, but if they're not listening to their people and getting information back, it's not going to do them any good.
Right.
Another one is providing purpose, making sure that people, especially in these days, you know, we've done a really nice job of not having to lay anyone off. And we've kind of clawed and scratched our way to finding work for people. But when people get bored, they tend to lose focus and they tend to lose engagement. We got to make sure that we're transparent with them during these times.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing is just kind of having some fun. You know, just a quick story. Got one of our guys that will just refuses to not wear tank tops all the time. And so we had a monthly meeting a while back where we organized it so that everybody in the company wore a tank top, but he didn't know.
Oh,
and of course, that was the one day that he didn't wear a tank top, but we made him go change his shirt.
Yeah.
But, you know, being connected with people like that when they're remote, it really makes a difference and allows them to stay engaged with the organization when you can't have that kind of face-to-face culture kind of interaction.
Well, Joel, I think about a quarter of our employees are actually here in the facility. The other 3/4 are still working from home. I'm sure you're seeing a lot of that out there. What do you advise of companies that still have this distance that we all have to live with?
Well, the biggest thing, I go back to that communication aspect.
Mm-hmm.
What we've done is we've created a COVID coordinator, and her responsibility is to make sure that we only have a certain percentage of the people in the office every single day, so that when people do want to come in, that we have the proper amount and we're following all of the protocols. You know, I think that the other piece of that is just making sure that people feel comfortable when they're ready to come in. Every business has to look at this a little bit differently, but you know, we don't want people coming in until they're ready to come in.
Right.
You know, people are starting as businesses begin to open up. People are worried about, you know, what's going to happen with their kids, what's going to happen with their pets that have all of a sudden become used to having people around.
Mm-hmm.
And these are additional stressors and hardships that are going to pop up that we want to make sure that we respect and that we really kind of consider as we're making plans.
Sure.
But I think that there's no doubt that things are going to change as we move forward as far as working from home in general. You know, 6 months ago, a lot of people, me included, really wasn't a huge fan of the work from home concept simply because it impacts your ability to stay engaged. You don't really know what people are doing. But we've proven that the technology can work. We've proven that we can continue to inject culture into our activities. And so every company's got to kind of look at how they're going to do that in the future. And I think for us, at least, we're probably going to go towards a 2 or 3 days in the office and then 2 or 3 days working from home with a little bit of flexibility so you can meet the cable guy.
Nice. The first 9 weeks, I did my show from my home. But the first 2 or 3 weeks were kind of okay. Toward the end of it, I'm going, gee, I really want to get back to the office. Do you hear that from a lot of people now?
More and more.
Yeah.
I think that the real problem, especially for people that don't have a separate room for an office, I hear a lot of people talking about the fact that they're sitting on their couch and they're doing work all day, and then in the evening when they're watching a movie, they're sitting in the exact same spot. And you can imagine it's hard to turn one off and turn the other one on. You know, nobody likes sitting in traffic in that daily commute, but I think that commute allowed people to sort of switch gears into a different mode. And now that that's gone, we've got to really think about how we're gonna support that with people. People are working weirder hours. They sleep a little later maybe and work a little later. All of those things kind of create a little bit of confusion, I think. And I don't have all the answers for those things yet, and nobody does. But I think it's recognizing that is something that's got to be addressed, and then trying to put a plan together for it will get you where you need to be.
Workplace culture expert Joel Patterson joining us on WHBY this morning. How feasible is it, and I know it'll kind of vary by company, of having a good majority of your people working from home? Because you kind of wonder, are the efficiencies there? Or are they going to be as productive when they're working at home all the time?
You know, I wrestle with that a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no way that you can be as engaged when you know you've got dogs barking in the background or kids bothering you. Mm-hmm. But you can also recognize that there is a certain sense of peace that will come with being around your family more and being at home. I think it's probably going to be a mix. It's going to depend a lot on the individual person, too. You know, a little while ago, if somebody said they wanted to take a call sitting next to the pool during the summer, you're going to be, no, that's not okay. But these days, we've proven that some people are actually more engaged doing that. Some people, like your introverts that actually like to work from home, right. I think you're going to find them doing even more of it. But your extroverts, I mean, at least in our office, they've started coming in on their own. Yeah. As soon as we opened up and said, hey, if you want to come in, come on in, we had like 10 of our people show up, and they've been here pretty much every day since. So it's going to come down to the individual, and we're going to have to come up with new techniques to be able to keep tabs on those people and recognize that they bring different strengths and weaknesses, and we want to make sure that we're leveraging their strengths as much as we possibly can.
I'm even hearing from some people sensing that the isolation of being at home is kind of bringing them down. They're getting blue. Is that true?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And again, especially the introverts. Yeah. The extroverts. The people that, so we do something called Clifton Strengths Finders here, where we kind of identify what your top 5 strengths are. And there's one called WOO, and that is WOO, and it stands for Win Others Over. Those are people that like to walk into a room of strangers and just start talking. They get energy from that. You can imagine those people, when they're at home by themselves all the time, is not a good situation. So when they show up here, and they can just kind of fill their tank, so to speak, it really kind of pushes them through the week. But we can, support them as much as they need to every single day if they choose to be here.
Beautiful. Hey, Joel, my time is running short. How do people tap into your knowledge at the Beste Group?
Simple. Our URL is thevested.com. Jay Patterson is who I am, and love to talk to anybody that has a need with their business systems.
Great chat, Joel. Appreciate the advice as well this morning. Have a good day.
Thank you, Dave. You too.
You got it.